Risk, uncertainty, frustration, that's the daily reality everyone who plays the game of hedge funds faces every damn second. The market screams one thing, volatility bites the other, and yet the noise never stops. For anyone with skin in the game, no matter the years under their belt or the size of the portfolio, one truth gnaws away relentlessly. Where the hell do you actually put your money now? Where's the real edge, the untamed territory where potential isn't already priced in, where you're not just racing others to the bottom of what's known and commoditized? Because let's be honest, staying safe in the tried and true is a slow death, and chasing hype, that's a guaranteed disaster waiting to happen. This isn't just about chasing returns. It's about fighting back against the stagnation, the mass mediocrity that's turned so many markets into echo chambers of the obvious. The pain's real. Sunk capital in crowded trades, brutal drawdowns in saturated segments, regulators breathing down your neck, central banks distorting signals like a bad radio station. This is the battle every hedge fund manager feels. To break free, to find those rare spots where structural growth meets mispriced risk, and the system hasn't yet built its fence. Emerging markets, yeah, those words carry a certain outlaw lure. And here's the brutal truth nobody's screaming loud enough. Emerging markets aren't just a sideshow for the brave anymore. They're becoming the wild frontier where the greatest revolutions in capital are quietly unfolding. Hedge funds are circling back and forth, and not because someone fancy on Wall Street got nostalgic for the 2000s. No, they're flocking back because the math, the real meat of opportunity, is screaming in these territories. The global economic tectonic plates are shifting, pushing power, growth, innovation, consumer booms, and disruptive infrastructure into continents that smart money wrote off for years. But that's precisely why the risks are eclipsed by the upside if you know how to play it right. For too long, the mainstream has played it safe, betting on over-leveraged giants and slow-growth stalwarts. Emerging markets got a bad rap: political turmoil, currency risk, opaque regulations, corruption. It sounds like a nightmare checklist. But what if we flip the script? Those risks? They're not obstacles to fear. They're the raw material of hidden alpha. Imagine markets where the rules aren't set in stone, where the next generation of consumers is growing faster than anyone can blink. Infrastructure gaps demand trillions of dollars, and innovation happens at breakneck speed, often off the grid of global spotlight. The key lies in seeing beyond the headlines, beyond fear-driven narratives, and into the real drivers beneath. Here's where it gets transformative. The hedge funds making real money aren't just throwing darts. They're laser-focused on deep local knowledge, partnerships scrambling together the best minds on the ground with tech, data, and relentless risk controls. They understand this isn't a sprint, but a marathon of patience and agility. They build boots-on-the-ground networks, they navigate geopolitics with surgical precision, and they marry macro insights with micro-level plays others overlook. This is about more than capital allocation. It's a mindset shift. It's about unlearning what was taught, shedding the safety nets of conventional wisdom, and stepping into wild markets with calculated courage. Think about where global consumption is exploding, on the streets of Lagos, Bangalore, Jakarta. Young populations eager, hungry, ready, unencumbered by decades of stagnation. These markets are being rebuilt, digitized, leapfrogging old tech. Mobile payments replacing cash on the fly, digital healthcare rising from scratch, renewable energy infrastructure demands skyrocketing, manufacturing hubs rebounding with government support. The implication? There are entire ecosystems ripe for winners to emerge that the developed world can't even replicate anymore. If your playbook hasn't adjusted to this new reality, you're watching opportunity walk right past you. So how do you get in without getting crushed? How do you tame the beast that's still so raw it scares most off? This is where professional edge, beyond the obvious, kills. It's knowing which sectors won't just weather storms, but dominate decades, which governments align with progress, which currencies have real resilience, and where private-public deals aren't just buzzwords but actual structural game changers. Then there's the secret sauce, embracing hybrid models of investment, direct equity, strategic partnerships, sovereign-linked debt, and ground-level venture capital, all woven together to balance risk and return dynamically. You're not here to play by someone else's rulebook. Those systems were not built to serve you, but to cage you in mediocrity. If the mainstream was the center, you're the edge, the spark cutting through noise, the one who sees that genius lies in contrast, in vast difference that when connected, create explosive synergy. It's about carving your own path where others fear to tread, and where the potential dwarfs develop markets trying to squeeze whatever life is left in slow growth economies. For anyone who stands for transformation, both personal and financial, emerging markets represent a call to awaken the radical investor inside. This is where the patient win. The real power comes from not chasing quick highs, but from weaving a long game strategy. It's about artfully blending foresight with adaptability, relentless learning with fearless execution. Those who understand that nothing worthwhile happens overnight, but also refuse to be paralyzed by analysis, are rewriting the rules here. They harness local intelligence, political nuance, demographic trends, and tech leapfrogging to reconstruct portfolios that are resilient, scalable, and positioned for hypergrowth that bankrupts old assumptions. It's transformative not just financially, but philosophically. It's rejecting the complacency of comfort zones, the hollow security of past successes, and stepping into a wild, complex world where only the brave thrive. Because emerging markets are not simple or neat. They're messy, alive, infuriating, raw, and that's exactly why they harbor the kind of rewards that redefine careers and legacies. If you fear volatility, stick to safe bets. But if you hunger for transcendence, if you're tired of the same old chorus of chatter and mediocrity, the emerging markets are calling irresistibly. This is where you turn frustration into breakthrough, limitations into launching pads. The incredible secret is that these markets demand more than capital. They demand an ecosystem, a network of rare minds collaborating across borders, blending radical ideas, and recalibrating realities daily. The future is built not on uniformity, but on diversity of thought and experience. The hedge funds thriving here don't just invest. They integrate, innovate, and inspire through partnerships that transcend nationality, politics, even industry silos. This is the new frontier of investing, where the exceptional find each other, break down old walls, and create power structures out of difference, not sameness. And the best part? This is only the beginning. The tectonic shifts in global demographics and political realignments mean emerging markets will increasingly write the story of global growth. They're not waiting for permission, and neither should you. The time to act is now, before those sleepy giants of old markets wake up and the easy alpha evaporates again. The stakes have never been higher, but so has the potential. To reach this new ground, you have to be bold enough to shed old fears, to stop relying on secondhand maps, and to craft strategies uniquely yours. Ignore the noise that tries to scare you with chaos and risk. Recognize the truth that volatility, when understood, is opportunity in disguise. Embrace those who align with your fiery will to redefine what's possible. This isn't for the complacent or the fearful. It's for the ones who burn with the fire of transformation, who won't settle for a borrowed life, who know the power of aligned brilliance unleashed beyond borders. Hedge funds flocking back to emerging markets isn't just a trend, it's a declaration. A declaration that the future belongs to those who dare to cross the edges of the known, to break free of illusions, and to build legacies that transcend the status quo. This is your invitation to unlearn, to rebel, and to create like never before. Because here, in the edges, in those once dismissed markets, lies an unleashed force, waiting to amplify the unique, the rare, the powerful inside you. The world you knew is shifting beneath your feet. You either ride this wave or get left behind watching others rewrite the playbook. The path is wild, uncertain, and yes, dangerous. But isn't that what real power feels like? To step into risk not blindly, but like a surgeon? To build something extraordinary, not on what everyone believes, but on what you see, what you understand, and where you commit with unwavering conviction? The hedge funds flocking to emerging markets today are not just hunting for profit, they're hunting for freedom. Freedom from outdated systems, from fixed mindsets, from a future carved out by others. They're building autonomous networks, connecting rare minds and rare opportunities, creating synergy where the system once stifled. This is liberation, not just wealth creation. This is a call to everyone who knows the old world limits are false chains. Look around. The few who dare to move beyond the noise, who reject the tempting comfort of certainty, who question what safe really means, those are the ones rewriting the narrative. They don't follow the herd. They forge their own pack with a shared mission to become more, not less. To turn risk into mastery and markets once feared into playgrounds for radical growth. No more waiting. No more borrowed lives. This is the moment where the edge ignites. Emerging markets are the spark. Will you let it burn your doubts away or watch from afar as others light the future on fire? The greatest investments are made not when the market shouts now, but when the brave listen to the quiet roar of hidden opportunity and jump in while the rest hesitate, tied tight in their illusions. This is that roar. Don't just hear it, answer it.